The title of this podcast is, what if the next time you had a problem with someone or with life, instead of trying to control or fix it, you began with working on yourself to be able to handle the situation exactly as it showed up? What if you did that? I think about how I used to handle situations that showed up that were not to my liking. And the way that I would do it is I would immediately become angry inside, disturbed. I would begin to become limited by the narrative that showed up following that inner disturbance about, I don't like this. This should be different. Why is this person not treating me the way that I think they should be treating me? I'm having a problem with them, and I don't like the situation, and it should be different. That's exactly what would happen. None of that involved what needs to happen first, which is I need to work on myself to be able to handle it. And since I didn't do that, I often found myself going off to complaining to someone else about whatever it is that I'm disturbed by. I've seen it happen all the time in my life, and I've seen other people do this kind of behavior. They can't handle something, so they make it a problem for the other person. I've seen it happen in relationships. I've seen it happen in friendships and at work and in the community. We're seeing it happen right now with the most recent election. People can't handle something, and so they start complaining about it, looking for agreement, all the while suffering and causing suffering, which is exactly what I used to do and must be aware of, that I can go right back to that same negative behavior. And so instead, whenever I have a problem now, I began with working on myself, working to be able to handle whatever showed up. And if it becomes something that is beyond my capacity in that moment to be able to handle from a peaceful place, I ask my friends to help me work on that, to help me work on being able to handle it. I don't want agreement anymore of them saying, yeah, I agree, this person is like that, or this situation is unfair, or can you believe what's happening in the country? I don't go to friends with that kind of conversation anymore, because where's it going to lead? More suffering for me and for them. And I don't grow. I don't transition. I don't transcend that negative narrative, that disturbance. I become mired in it. And I lose my way, and I lose the present moment and life. That this is short life. I lose precious moments of it. And I'm done doing that. So instead, I talk to my friends. I'm very fortunate. I have friends throughout the week that I see as part of ToBeRe. And some of them have a well-being practice that they are committed to as much as I am. And they know who they are because I've thanked them several times. I mean, uh, they've just been instrumental in helping me stay on the path and not lose my way. And I'll come to them and say, hey, listen, this is what's happening on the pickleball court. Can you help me be able to handle this? I'm not asking them to, like, hey, listen, here's what I think we need to do, and don't you agree? Nope, not asking that question. I'm looking for agreement. I'm looking to be right. No, this is what I want. This experience I want to have. Can you help me, guide me to be able to handle what I see that's in the way? And oftentimes it's like, no, that's not the problem. You're the problem. Your ego is the problem. And I see the same thing in my friendships and relationships. I've learned, because I worked on myself, that the minute that my mind starts to say that the other person is the problem, that in itself is the problem. Because there's something about me that wants it to be different, and I can't handle it. If you've ever had a situation where people have committed to doing something, or you have expectation that they're going to do something, and they don't do it, you go to, well, I can't hang out with them anymore. It can't be this way anymore. Oh, nope. You can't handle people not either doing what they say they were going to do, or people changing their mind, or something coming up. In either case, whatever the reason is, the key to being free of the suffering that comes with any kind of negative reaction is to work on yourself to be able to handle it. And so I've done that. And in doing so, I've learned how to create peacefulness inside. So I encourage you that no matter what shows up for you, whatever the problem seems to be, a delayed flight, a canceled flight, your workday being busier than you would like in that moment, whatever the situation is, here at ToBeRe, we had a stereo issue the last week. And so people remotely are having trouble. Their practice is to be able to handle there being a glitch in the stereo. My practice is to be peaceful as I work to resolve it, and not because, and even more than that, not telling the other people who may be disturbed by the stereo issue that they need to be peaceful. Nope. I need to be able to handle them not being peaceful, for them being upset by it if they are. I mean, ToBeRe, it's rare for people to be upset about things that are beyond our control. People normally, this community normally meets those situations with incredible understanding and grace, which I appreciate. And that's what makes them so special. My colleagues at Mayo Clinic are very much the same who I get to work with. You know, there are a couple of 1.0s out there, but hey, I give them grace and space too, because I was a 1.0 for most of my life and can easily slip back into that default behavior that is creates suffering, experiences suffering, and is not committed to experiencing inner peace, at least in that moment. So I ask you that whatever shows up in life, the next problem that life presents, which is action opportunity, the next person who doesn't meet your expectations, whatever shows up, work on yourself to be able to handle it. Before you do anything else, you say to yourself, I'm going to work on me being able to handle this. And then if you do that, each time, what you'll find is you're going to be carving out and creating more space for inner peace to be present in. And life is easy when that's the case. It's amazing the things that will be available to you when you just let go. Anything that you think this is awful, just let it all go. And in doing so, there'll be such peace and love present. You will start to see possibilities and opportunities that are amazing. I'll leave you with this, is that whenever I work on myself of being able to handle something, my load becomes so light. When I make things a problem, my load is heavy. We've been going through this process with developing a well-being app for our colleagues at Mayo Clinic. And along the way, we had to go through a pretty extensive process to get this, regarding security, information security, cybersecurity, legal, branding. It's a lengthy process. At any moment, I could have made all of it a problem. But because I let it go, I was able to see the people that are working on the other end in these different departments as important colleagues and experts in their field. I was able to see that they really wanted the same thing that I wanted. They wanted to see this thing happen. This app moved through the process so colleagues could benefit from it. But at any point, if I would have said, this is unfair, this shouldn't be happening, this process is way too lengthy, this is unnecessary. At any point, if I would have done that, it would have been a reflection that I can't handle accepting what the reality is. And I would start to alienate those folks, the very folks who are trying to help me. I would have been a troublemaker without even being conscious that I'm doing it. But instead, because I asked the question, can you handle this? It opened up a new possibility and a different response. without the question. And the response is, yes, I can handle this. And so, whatever shows up in your life, I hope you're asking your question before you do anything else. You say to yourself, can I handle this? And if you can't, work on being able to handle it before you take any other action.